The Ancients World. Chapter 21, The Adventure to Vedersfall III. With the war council going on, there is also panic coming from the church. The Pope is talking to the rulers present about the things that are happening. With this war commencing, we are now free to search the lands of Zenith for the son of Archangel Michael. There is a major problem though. We have been getting reports of these new people leaving the places they showed up at. There is a good chance that the one we are looking for is also leaving Blue Grass. I want all the kingdoms to be on high alert and have checkpoints for people coming and going. The Pope is determined to find the son. As this meeting goes on, Sarah is also at the crossroad that cuts through the wilds or goes around it. I close my map and move into the wilds. I can't sense anything dangerous in the immediate area. I am sure the deeper I get, the more monsters there will be. Hopefully they kill each other and I can just avoid any combat. Monsters are territorial in Ancients World. Wolves will defend their area from a bear. If I happen to come across such an event, they won't stop what they're doing just to attack me. It is a nice mechanic that takes some of the danger away. After I get deep into the wilds, I can feel the temperature drop along with the sun. I have felt an extreme power to my east. I don't know what it is. I have never felt something like THS, not even when I meet Nelly. I will steer clear of whatever it is, hopefully. My path doesn't come close to it. I should really set up camp and log off for the night. It's probably 8 or 9 right now. I get to a safe place on high ground, and when I finish setting up my camp, I take a few to look at the starry sky. Without the pollution blocking out the stars, you can see an entire universe. I will never see something like this in my world. I have a lot of miles to cut through in the wilds, but taking this moment isn't irresponsible. I can't really seem to take my eyes off the sights. The stars almost light up the ground under the cliff I am on. I go into my tent and log off. I come out of my gaming pod and see that I missed dinner once again. I come downstairs and I can feel the tension in the room. Mom on one side and Haley on the other. Dad is in the middle right now and has no intention of interfering this time. He must have talked to Mom or something. I come and sit on the couch and watch TV with everyone. I try to focus on the news report about Ancients World, but I can't help the feeling of being stuck between a rock and a hard place. There has been plenty of news from Ancients World, and the top headline today is, a legendary class has emerged, the Abyss Walker. This is now the second class to be discovered above Legacy. I know for a fact that Stubtoe hid his identity for a long time, but he was exposed by a team of players he helped in a dungeon. They stabbed him in the back for money and rewards. That's why I intend to do everything solo. I listen to the news some more as the reporter talks. In other news, a roaming world boss has been spotted in the Kingdom of Salamander. Many guilds are preparing to pursue the boss monster in hopes of valuable items. Well, looks like I am not the only one making moves anymore. I am glad that the focus is being divided to new things now. I don't know much about roaming world bosses, but I know they are powerful and are one of a kind. Some can be talked to like dragons, others don't want anything to do with humans. I wonder who is going to be the first to succeed. I say quietly to myself. Marcus looks at me and he seems to want to ask a question, but is unsure on how to word it. What, Marcus? If it's anything about the game, I can probably answer it. He smiles at me since I nailed his problem right on his head. He gets up and runs upstairs and brings my laptop down. He puts it on his lap while he sits next to me. He pulls up a page that is filled with gaming pods and prices. I think I know what he is trying to ask me. If you want to get a gaming pod, you will have to ask Mom and Dad. You still have a full and busy school schedule. His smile drops a little bit, but that doesn't mean no. Now isn't the best time to ask them though, and he is smart enough to know that. He starts watching cartoons again. I let him use my stuff because I know he will take care of it. I look at Haley and give her a sideways smile that says, sorry this is happening to you. She lowers her head and sighs. As soon as she did that, I can feel Mom's anger rise. I turn towards her and her eyes haven't left Haley's. Mom is determined to get Haley off her butt and do something with her life. I am sad that there is a conflict going on between the two of them, but Haley really does need the reality check. I turn my head back to the reporter as she continues on today's news. Tomorrow the auction house will open and this is expected to bring up the value of Ancient's World a considerable amount. It will soon be a week since the official launch and many are excited for the post-launch press conference. I wonder how many people will actually watch it. I won't be since I'll be playing. I have a lot of ground to cover tomorrow and no way to speed myself up. I get off the couch since I can't take the tension anymore and head back up to my room. I am too tired to do anything else and I know that this will be my toughest test of patience yet. As Sarah falls asleep, the Ancient's World is going through its own changes. A system announcement rings throughout the world. Worldwide announcement, a divine roaming world boss has awoken. The God-Eater Fenrir has returned from his slumber. Fenrir isn't an ordinary boss and can give quests as well as rewards if spoken to without the intention to harm. Worldwide announcement, the Church of Light has issued a magnitude 10 disaster level to Fenrir. Stay away at all cost. Do not engage Fenrir. It could anger the God-Eater and cause him to go on a rampage. Worldwide announcement, the Church of the Dark Ones is offering a legendary weapon and a legendary class for the heart of Fenrir. Worldwide announcement, the King of Dragons Vendries is looking for Fenrir to challenge him to a battle on who is stronger. The entire player base went totally nuts. Forums are blowing up and going crazy. The NPCs are doing a similar thing. The history and lore of Fenrir is that he is a giant wolf. This wolf is a son of Loki and he ate the evil Norse god Odin. In the Ancient's World Fenrir is a god-class creature, therefore he is now the strongest thing on the planet Gaia. Existences like Fenrir are classified from 1 to 10 of disaster potential by the Church. 1 being able to kill thousands of strong players and NPCs before dying, 10 being impossible to kill without the help of multiple gods descending from overworld to battle. The reason this is happening is because of the return of the fairies. Fenrir and the fairy kingdom are allies. The holy willow tree saved Fenrir's son Skull after he nearly died in a battle against some powerful demons. After that day the holy willow tree has been linked to Fenrir and his 2 children. Now that the fairy kingdom is back and the holy willow tree is almost at full power, Fenrir has awoken. This is another butterfly effect that has been caused by Sarah and his actions. This never happened in the future that Sarah came from, and now a new series of quests and world events will follow with Fenrir's awakening. Fenrir has the potential of giving you quests and becoming your ally or killing you and destroying where you come from. Fenrir is a creature of nobility and high character, but does not show mercy to his enemies or his friends' enemies. The Church was just finishing up their meeting when this message came. There is outrage and chaos in the meeting. Saintess Lucy had to use her power to calm everyone down. The first to speak is the Pope. I get why you are all panicking. This is a dangerous event that has occurred, but Fenrir doesn't seek to harm or destroy people and cities. The disaster level of 10 is to ward off any people who think it's a good idea to hunt and attack Fenrir. The Church has been allies with Fenrir for many centuries. As the Pope finishes speaking, the rest of the meeting calms down. The kings and queens are right to be afraid. Chapter 22, The Adventure to Vedersfall IV. Now the meeting has changed topics to Fenrir. Not a lot is known about Fenrir outside of Overworld and the top officials of the Church of Light. All the kings and queens here are going to receive information that others are not privy to. They want anything that could help protect their kingdoms. The first to speak is the Queen of Felroa, Victoria Ulysses. The V. Felroa is a country that has only had female rulers, and they have always had peace thanks to their wise leaders. I want to know why you think having Fenrir on our plane of existence is a good idea. She is not the only one to question the logic of the Pope right now. Many of the rulers that are at this meeting don't hold faith in the Pope's words at this point in time. Many of the leaders are waiting for an answer. The Pope looks over to Saintess Lucy and opens his mouth with a request. Will you please have the scribes bring Fenrir's legend from the archives? Saintess Lucy understood what was being asked and contacted the war scribes with magic to bring the ancient book to the meeting room. The rulers look at each other skeptically with the attitude the Pope is taking. Soon the scribes arrive and they hand a giant book to Saintess Lucy. She carries it to the table and lays it down. The Pope is the first one to speak about this old relic of the past. This book is a record of all the feats of Fenrir since he became known to us. This book is over 4,000 years old. It was created before the First War and survived the First War the Dark Ones waged. As he said that, a deafening silence ran throughout the meeting room. None present knew of this except Saintess Lucy and the Pope. He leans the book up and uses magic to hold it there. Soon he starts to flip pages. After almost reaching the end of the book he decides to stop. This is the story of Fenrir's battle against Archdemon Mammon. A magical voice began to talk, reading lines from the book so everyone could listen. After the holy willow tree saved Skull, Fenrir pledged to always come to the aid of the fairy kingdom if they are ever in trouble. He tied his life force to the holy willow tree so he could know if it were ever in distress. Many of the rulers are listening intently, others are having some of it written down so the church can no longer hide this secret. The magical voice continued reading to explain what everyone has been asking. The archdemon of greed Mammon had a personal goal in destroying the fairy kingdom because they refused to give up their princess, Lady Anna. Archdemon Mammon was so enraptured by her beauty that he decided to take her for himself. By any means necessary. All of the rulers knew very little about the First Great War. All that was really known about it was the Dark Ones grabbing power they couldn't control. The Almighty Father has ultimate authority over all creation in Ancient's world. The Dark Ones wanted that power for themselves so they could each create their own version of a perfect world. That is what the legends say anyway. The magical voice continues reading from the book. As Archdemon Mammon himself was leading the forces upon the fairy kingdom, the holy willow tree called out to Fenrir for aid in this dire time. Fenrir is a god of incredible power and strength. When he arrived to the fairy kingdom, a bloody battle was almost over. The demons were the winning force, but Fenrir was never one to break his word. At hearing those words they begin to have more faith in the Pope's claims. It is not unknown that the Church's obsession with finding Michael's son has driven a wedge between the Church and the kingdoms. They continue to listen as the epic tale spins. A great battle began with Fenrir all by himself against the army of the demon of greed. The battle was a slaughter on the demons' side. They could not compete with Fenrir's might. Soon Archdemon Mammon was the only one left. A battle that leveled half of the fairies' kingdom and surrounding forest followed as the two fought to the death. Nobody would have suspected that Fenrir would do something like this for someone or something other than himself. The rulers are now put at ease, some are even giving orders to their generals to tell them to leave Fenrir alone if they encounter him. As Archdemon Mammon was laying on the ground defeated, he uttered these words. "If I cannot have Princess Anna, then nobody will." He yelled so all could hear him, and he casted a curse using the last of his life force. It was never intended for Fenrir, but for the holy willow tree. In the end nobody won this battle and instead, everyone lost. The bond between Fenrir and the holy willow tree was one of life force. As the holy willow tree was forced into sleep, so was Fenrir. The history that was being hidden by the Church has angered some, but they all understand the implications of the story. Now that the holy willow tree has been revived, so has Fenrir, and all of this was caused by the person they are looking for. The story of Fenrir concludes with the next entry. When the battle was over, both Fenrir and the holy willow tree were already being affected by the curse. In a desperate attempt to save Fenrir, the holy willow tree sent him to a safe place where nobody would disturb his sleeping body. The following days the fairy kingdom rotted away from the inside. It is said one of divine origin will free both the holy willow tree and Fenrir. As the story concludes and the book closes, a sigh of relief is released by some. The Pope and the Saintess exchange a few words as others are doing so as well. "I am worried about that last line in the book. That wasn't there when I was studying Fenrir." They take a look at the closed book and have separate thoughts about it. Well, an old relic such as this is capable of hiding things from us. The people who made it were incredibly powerful. The meeting continues on into the night and the rest of the people of Ancient's world are talking about it. In the real world Sarah sleeps the night away as this is being discussed. Soon his alarm goes off and he gets up with a smile. Today is the day I get to sell my guild token. After today all my family's money problems will disappear forever. We will get to move to a bigger house and live in peace for the rest of our foreseeable lives. I get up to head downstairs and have breakfast. Mom and me are the only ones down here. I sit down across from Mom and I can see the red in her eyes from crying a lot lately. Are you doing okay, Mom? Haley and her are at war right now and I think this isn't going to be a quick one like it usually is. She just pokes her food with her fork and doesn't look at me. I'm okay, Sarah, just worried is all. Parents don't get enough of the credit they should get. My mom and dad sacrificed everything to give us a good life. They gave up their futures and families to be together. They ask for nothing in return and receive not nearly enough thank yous from us. I know just the thing to cheer her up though. I'm sure she will be brimming with happiness after I say this. Today I get to sell my item that's worth millions. We won't have to worry about money ever again. What do you want to buy first, Mom? I cheer loudly, trying to convey my happiness to her. I then see her look at me with a face ready to start bawling her eyes out. I thought that would make you happy. I watch her lower her head after I say that. I can see her face contort in pain. Her chin is quivering and tears are falling from her eyes. I get up from my chair and I hug her from behind. As soon as I do, she starts sobbing her eyes out. I think just letting her cry is a good idea for now. I hiccup. Don't know. Sniffle hiccup, asterisk how you turn sniffle sniffle asterisk out so good. Hiccup, hiccup, asterisk from us raising you. Sniffle hiccup, asterisk my heart breaks hearing her say that. They tried their damnedest to provide a happy life for us. I just hug and rock her from side to side letting her cry. You have hiccup, made me sniffle sniffle asterisk the happiest mom. Sniffle hiccup asterisk in the whole world. She says that last part with a hiccuping voice full of happiness. I start to cry as well. It has always been a dream of mine to do this for my parents and now I can. Soon she gets up and hugs me too. The top of her head doesn't even reach my chin. I just let her cry until it's all out. She lets go of me and pulls away. I can see mascara smeared around her eyes. I look down on my shirt and there is more smeared there. She finishes wiping her eyes and begins to laugh. Give me that, I'll wash it when I do laundry today. She is smiling rays of sunlight now and is in a much better mood. I take off my shirt and give it to her. She takes it to the laundry room and puts it with the rest. I head upstairs and put on a new shirt. I head back downstairs and sit down to finish the rest of my breakfast before it gets cold. Soon Marcus joins us and Haley follows too. Haley and Mom won't even look at each other. I really do hope this can be worked out soon. We will be moving in a couple days with the money I'll make from this guild token. I finish eating first and say goodbye to everyone else and head upstairs. I hop into my gaming pod and load in. I wake up in the same tent I fell asleep in. Now I just need to continue my journey and wait a couple hours till the auction opens. Chapter 23, The Adventure to Vedersfall V. I look out over the cliff and see the wet trees and overcasted clouds. It looks like it rained last night and has created this beautiful scenery before me. I have a long journey ahead of me and I decide to start on it right away. I make my way off the mountain and I soon start my travels into the wilds. I can sense that unmoving power from yesterday moving now. It is even stronger than last I felt and I feel like it's getting closer now. After I think about what to do next, I get a notification from the system. A divine level creature can sense your power. The creature is now going to track you down. You have a unique connection to this creature that the system cannot explain. Talk about a worrying message. I don't know how far or close this creature is. That isn't what is worrying me at the moment though. The fact that it's a divine level creature is what's scaring me. Those words mean we have the same life rating and whatever it is, it's definitely stronger than anything I have seen or felt before. I'm in good cover from other animals thanks to these huge trees, most of them are 3 stories high. I should get a move on, I can feel the general direction of the power and it is moving closer really fast. I soon start to sprint as fast as I can and I would be doing good if I wasn't being tracked down by a powerful creature. I know for a fact I would die if I were to fight this thing. Unique connection or not, I don't know what it is. I continue to run and run for a few hours. I can feel my stamina is getting real low and that creature is still in pursuit of me. I have to sit down and take a water and food break. If I had to guess, it is at least 4 or 5 hours behind me at this point. I take out some food and water rations and go to town on them. I hear a worldwide system announcement about the one thing I am looking forward to at the moment. Worldwide announcement: the auction house will be opening in 30 minutes. A new clock counting down appears in the interface and a smile creeps onto my face. I am glad that this is happening, but I am still running from whatever this creature is. I finish my food and start sprinting now that my stamina has recovered. After traveling for a while, I watch the counter reach 0 and a new tab appears in the interface. I open it and I see a familiar sight: there are things already being bought and sold. The most valuable item of the day is on the front page, receiving bids from anyone. I open my inventory and pull out my guild token. I then see a new system prompt appear. This item is incredibly valuable to all players and NPCs alike. Do you want to put this item up for auction? Y/N. I think yes, and I get a new system notification asking me another question. Do you want this item to be sold to both NPCs and players? Y/N. Do you want this item to be sold to only NPCs? Y/N. Do you want this item to be sold to only players? Y/N. I think yes on my third option and I get another system notification. Do you want to be paid in gold? Y/N. Do you want to be paid in UWDs? Y/N. I think yes to my second option. United World Dollars. This is the currency that was made in 2115 when the world decided to become a more unified place. There are still countries and different governments though. The UWDs were made to replace all world currency in the pursuit to a more balanced economy. It was really devastating the first 40 or so years when the Reformation took place, but now it really has paid off since every country's economy contributes equally to the rest of the world. It isn't a perfect system, but ever since the first 40 years went by there hasn't been a single crash of the stock market and UWD's value has stayed steady and healthy ever since. I get asked about the payment method. Do you want to use your bank account? Y/N. Do you want to use someone else's bank account? Y/N. I click the second option and input mom and dad's joint account in, and then I see my item go to the featured item spot. I close the tab before I can even see the first bid on it so I can focus on getting away from this creature. Unknown to Sarah, his item's first bid was 10 million UWDs. Bids last 12 hours for epic and lower grade items. Since a guild token doesn't have a grade, it is automatically assigned 24 hours to bid on due to its worth. The bid on the item continues to skyrocket as more and more people view its information. People can fully utilize the guild token unlike Sarah, that is why people are going crazy. They are seeing its full and unblocked description. Now that is taken care of. I need to look at my map while I run. I pull it out from my inventory and start to read its contents. It is difficult at first, but I adapt fast and make adjustments like I am supposed to. I am glad it has such descriptive and obvious landmarks. After a few more hours of running at full speed, I can feel fatigue and stamina drain setting in. I stop next to a lovely clear water lake and take a break. Whatever that creature is, it doesn't let up. After that thought, I get another system notification. The creature is growing frustrated from you running away. The creature has decided to increase its speed by 10-fold to catch up to you. I grow angry at reading this notification. What the hell does this creature even want? I don't have any good items and I am a low level. I have nothing to offer it and I can't see why it is so dead set on finding me. I get up to continue running, but I get another notification that pisses me off. You are completely exhausted. You will have a 95% movement and speed debuff for 6 hours till you recover. My ego and pride won't let me admit how right that notification is. I feel like I ran a marathon, which in retrospect I did. All I can really do is wait to die now that this creature is going to catch up to me. It will get here in probably an hour with 10x boost. I just lay my head down on the nice cool grass, as my hot body cools down. I decide to just close my eyes and rest. You can't sleep in Ancient's world. However, you can close your eyes while in a resting position and go into a resting state. This will recover debuffs like fatigue faster. I just wait for whatever it is after me to catch up and have a meal. However, Sarah is misunderstanding. The creature that is pursuing him is the one that he indirectly saved by awakening the holy willow tree. I am becoming annoyed that this human is running from me. I could sense his power from miles away thanks to our connection to each other. I can also feel the holy willow tree is awake too. Whoever this boy is, he has incredible divine power sleeping within him. I haven't felt such strength since I met Michael. I can also feel a strong connection to the Almighty Father in him. It is very dormant though. Now that I am moving faster I will surely catch up to him. I can feel that he has also stopped moving. Beings of divinity can feel each other if they are close enough. Mortals that don't have enough divinity can't track us or locate us. I know for a fact that he can draw on an infinitesimal amount of his own strength. He probably doesn't know how much is actually buried within him. To think the mighty Fenrir is chasing after a pup, his presence is curious though. I wonder what his connection is to Michael and the Almighty Father. I can catch up to him in a little less than an hour, so I should make haste. As Sarah is laying on the ground resting and trying to recover, he feels the power moving closer by the minute. I can't believe that I am stuck here with no way to fight. After my thoughts of frustrations I get system notification. The creature is making haste to you. The creature is now moving at 15-fold its normal speed since you aren't moving anymore. I know that if this was anyone else they would be drooling to get to meet a divine creature, even if they die. I am not like that since I will have to make up the level I lost with the half EXP debuff. After about 45 more minutes I can feel the ground slightly shake and I can see some of the trees being whacked back and forth in the distance from the little hill I moved to so I can get a view of my killer. I can also see what looks like a wolf's mane, whatever type of creature it is. It's as big as a 3-story building, if not more. I see the final trees fall in its path as a giant wolf enters the clearing by the lake. Looking at it I am reminded of something I learned in high school when I took poetic historical reading. I can't quite put my finger on it though. As I am looking at it from the other side of the lake he looks at me and I see its red and blue eyes glowing at me. It has obviously spotted me. It leans down and jumps across the small lake. I would have called it a pond, but it's too big. It lands with power 30 feet in front of the tree I am resting on. Wind blows in all directions as he lands. I want to try and inspect it before I die, but I get the usual thing. You are not strong enough to view this creature's stats. It looks at me with what seems to be amusement. I receive the usual thing when I meet a being of such power. This creature is strong enough to view all your information. I watch little facial expressions change here and there. I guess he is surprised reading my information. I'm glad I could cause something to happen to him, be it as little as surprise. I hear something that shocks me a lot after having angry thoughts. So that explains what I feel from you. This creature seems to be similar to a dragon in intelligence, but is much more powerful. Looking at it I can see tattoos and patterns of what looks like Viking and Norse mythology. I take a deep breath and say something in return. Just make it quick, I don't have time to waste here talking to you. The giant wolf smiles at my response. I won't go out like a weak coward begging to spare my life so I don't lose levels. He moves closer and is now casting a shadow over me. His power-filled eyes look softly at me. I believe you are mistaken about me, son of Michael. Whoever he is powerful from the sound in the bass of his voice. I guess he wants to have a conversation before he decides if he wants to kill me or not. Maybe he won't kill me if he likes my answers. Chapter 24, The Adventure to Vedersfall VI. This giant wolf is something the top players from the future couldn't even scratch. What could he possibly want with me? Okay, since you aren't going to kill me right away, what do you want? He looks like a healthy wolf in his prime, but his eyes say that he is older than you could possibly know. Not much is known about the time before Overworld, Gaia, and Underworld were separated. Records started being kept about 2,000 years before the First Great War. Any information before that is incredibly rare and considered treasures of incalculable value. The wolf grins at my gusto. I don't feel any hostility from him and I'm not stupid enough to try anything. I was being slightly rude with my choice of words, but that was before I met this giant talking powerhouse. I can see that you have spirit, pup. I am curious as to why you are out here all alone. I can see that you are hiding from a lot of people based on your bloodline. This guy is way smarter than he lets on. I contemplate if I should tell him or not. He seems like a nice enough divine world boss. I can't believe I just said that. I shift my tired body for a better angle to speak to him. I'm heading to the country of Vedersfall. To the city of Eclipse. I am going there to learn more and grow stronger. I decided to go through the wilds to cut my journey down. After I woke up this morning and started my travels is when I felt that you were following me. I tried to get away, but as you can see that didn't work out that well. He nods at my words and understands. I don't know why he went through all the trouble to catch me. Might as well ask him. Why are you after me anyway? I am positive that I have nothing of value to take. He smiles at my words. I guess he knows something I don't. I soon get a system notification that is a nice surprise. The creature is sharing power with you. Your exhaustion is gone and your debuff is removed. This solidifies that he isn't here to kill me, which is nice. I could feel your angelic power, as well as your connection to the holy willow tree. I know he saw all my information, but that doesn't explain why he could feel my connection to it. This is probably a byproduct of something that I did. Sarah doesn't know how right that is. As Sarah is about to ask the giant wolf how he knew about that, the wolf cut him off. The wolf sits down for a story to tell Sarah. I get what you want to know and I'll answer all your questions. My name is Fenrir, and I have just awakened from a long slumber. I lose composure for a second. Fenrir is a powerful wolf that ate the evil Norse god Odin, at least that is what I learned in class back in high school. I was put to sleep by a curse that Mammon casted on the holy willow tree. When you helped the tree, I was helped by proxy as well. So that is why he was searching for me. That also explains the strange connection we have. It's through the holy willow tree. I still don't understand his connection to the fairies though, but it looks like he is about to talk about it. I went to the holy willow tree when my son Skull was fatally wounded. The tree healed him that day and I entered a pact with the tree. If the kingdom or its people were ever in trouble I would come to their aid. He says that with a bitter look in his giant eyes. As I continue to listen I understand more and more. Even though I defeated the demon Mammon and his army, I failed in keeping my word. However, thanks to you both the holy willow tree and I are back. Talk about a tale for the ages, this was never known to anyone from the future, at least they weren't public about it. I can see why he tracked me down and followed me. He wanted to meet the one who lifted the curse. It's a relief to know that you aren't here to kill me, but I still don't understand one thing. I stop as I imply permission to ask him. He nods his head in confirmation for me to speak. If you're connected to the holy willow tree, then how am I connected? When I completed the dungeon and freed the tree all I got was a reputation bonus and a really awesome healing perk. I guess the power that connects me to the holy willow tree is hidden from me. The wind blows after I ask my last question and the mane on Fenrir waves freely as the air passes over his coat. You did something that transferred your power into the tree. Whatever you did, it has bound you to the tree and unknowingly to me as well. Talk about the system hiding stuff from me. Or perhaps the system can't access information it doesn't understand. I wonder if my actions will have any more consequences to them. I contemplate more and more, the conclusion. I don't know what to do with this information. I guess this just means I know another powerful creature in Ancient's world. I appreciate your patience with me, Fenrir. I was rude earlier because I thought I was going to die. I apologize for my actions because in all honesty I was incredibly rude to him. I get a notification from the system after my apology. Fenrir appreciates your humbleness and willingness to listen. Fenrir considers you a good friend. I am glad I could leave a good impression on the giant wolf. I do have an idea, but I am kind of afraid to ask him. It will save me tons of time and I could reach the country of Vedersfall tonight. Fenrir, may I ask a favor of you? He looks at me with a calm face, contemplating if he should accept. He nods his head after a few seconds and I make my request. Can I get a ride to the border on the other side of the wilds? It will save me days of travels if I could catch a ride from you. He looks at me with what I assume is disbelief. He starts to laugh hard out of nowhere and has a hard time catching his breath. I thought you were going to ask for something much more demanding than that. He yells between laughs, I should be glad his pride isn't insulted. Of course I can give you a ride. We can make it, there is no time at all. Suddenly he picks me up in his mouth and tosses me onto his back. Hold on tight, it's going to be a windy ride. As soon as he said that, my mouth and eyes are peeled back from the sheer wind force. I desperately try to hold on. After a couple minutes of struggling I get a good grip and I am able to sit up straight with my face now used to the pressure of the extreme speed. We are moving very fast. If I had to guess I'd say we were moving over 100 miles an hour. I get to go high into the air as he jumps over gorges and valleys. The sun is beginning to set as I get to see the beautiful sunset while high in the air before we descend back down. I am glad that I met Fenrir today. He is nothing like he is portrayed in the myths. Ancient's world is different though, the lore of the game is different than the history of our world. As we are hauling it through the wilds, a question pops in my mind. Do you know anything about Belvia and the Dryads? Maybe asking someone as old as Fenrir can get me some clue for the legendary quest. I soon hear him give me an answer I did not expect to hear. Belvia was allied with the archdemons during the Great War. They spied on the Church of Light and the other kingdoms in exchange for rewards and soldiers of the Eternal Horde. After the war was over and the demons lost, the Church buried the betrayal of Belvia so its people could live in peace and not be persecuted by the other kingdoms. I wouldn't believe it if someone else told me this. I never knew that a kingdom would do that, and what is this Eternal Horde? We have lots of time before we make it to the border and I have lots of questions. I might not get another chance to ask someone as old and as knowledgeable as Fenrir again. I know just the question I want to ask him next. Fenrir wouldn't know specific people. He would know hidden locations that may hold clues though. I can definitely check out all the locations he gives me once I make my journey to Belvia. Chapter 25, The Adventure to Vedersfall VII. As I ask Fenrir about Belvia and any information on the Dryads as well as other things. Meanwhile there are other things happening in Ancient's world. More specifically in the auction house. The guild token has multi-billion-dollar companies and guilds bidding sickening numbers for it. The current bid for the guild token is 112 million UWDs, and there is still 10 hours left for the bid to continue. As this is happening, reporters across the globe are doing takes on the auction house's hottest item. Violet Adamo is watching the TV as she waits for her husband to come home. She has no idea that this is in fact the item that Sarah said he was selling. I can't believe an item that is in a video game can be worth so much. I hope that Sarah's item gets attention. Parents wouldn't understand what the gaming industry is. To them it is just a toy that they buy for their kids to get them off their backs. In reality, they miss out on one of the best experiences a person can have in video games. I watch the screen change to a news anchor talking about the item. This guild token is a priceless item to the DDVR's Titan companies. The research conducted on this item shows that any guild can create their guild hall starting at a large size in any city as long as they reach the required player level for those cities. Sarah didn't know the true value of the guild token, so the astronomical number is something that is minuscule to the guilds and companies bidding on it. They know that the turnover for such an item would be quadruple the price they are all willing to pay for it. Soon Marcus comes downstairs and sits next to me. His attention is also drawn to the large number on the screen. "Mommy, how much is 130 million UWDs?" Marcus only knows about tens, hundreds, and thousands. He has no knowledge of what a million is. I don't really know how to explain this to Marcus. "Well, sweetie, it's more money than anyone would need in their entire life." This is the best that I can do to explain it to Marcus. Once he is older he can start worrying about money. I wonder how Sarah is doing. He is surely putting a lot of time into this game. It has bared fruit that I had no idea was possible. I can only pray that everything goes all right. Christian and I never talk about money in front of the family. They don't know how desperate we are and how much we are in debt. As Violet continues to watch the news, Christian is at the factory getting ready to head home. Everyone is watching the TV and this draws his attention. After I got dressed I walk over to the group of men and see the station that they are watching. Can you believe that it's going for 175 million now? I am getting sick from watching that counter go up. As I hear that number I feel a little nauseous too. Someone has to be insane if they are paying 190 million UWDs. I just watch the bid climb by the millions with the rest of the group. One of the guys I work with on the conveyor belt is talking about his son who plays the game. My kids just texted me and told me why the price is so high. Apparently this will make a large guild hall instantly for no cost of in-game currency whatsoever. I think I should do more research on this game when I get back. Asking Sarah would be a smart idea. I take another look at the screen before I head home. Fuck. Who is the lucky son of a bitch that gets all this money? Back in Ancient's world Sarah and Fenrir have really gotten to know each other well. Sarah told him about the new people or players and how he is one of them. I can really trust Fenrir because nobody can force him to reveal anything about me. As I look ahead of us I can see the wilds ending and rolling hills that are flat and fields full of crops are appearing. This means that we are almost at the border and this is my stop. You can stop up ahead in the fields. The border is only a couple of miles from here. The sun is now fully set and it is dark out, the moon and stars are illuminating the ground so we can see. Fenrir lands gracefully and bends down so I can hop off. Thank you so much, I would have been traveling through the wilds for longer than I intended to. He stands tall and looks over to the mountain range where I believe the Salamander Kingdom resides on the other side. Planning another trip? He looks back at me with a slight grin. He raises his head and sniffs the air. I want to see how much the world has changed since I left. I plan on checking on the fairies' new kingdom first though. I totally understand that. He did his best to protect them. In a way he both succeeded and failed. He must want to right some wrongs. I receive a system notification as Fenrir is about to speak to me. Fenrir wants to give you a reward for freeing the holy willow tree and him. Do you wish to accept the reward? Y/N. As I read this Fenrir uses some sort of magic and an old Viking horn falls into my hands. I want you to have this Zirn. When you blow into the horn I will come to your aid no matter where you are. I hope you accept my gift. I smile at the nice gesture he is giving me. I won't need to use it, but it would be nice to have in case of an emergency. I make up my mind and I open my mouth to give my answer as I think yes to accept the reward. I'll be sure to treasure it Fenrir, you have been a real friend today and if you ever need my help don't be a stranger. When I finish saying that he laughs, I soon start to laugh as well at the implications of that. I am way too weak to help Fenrir with anything, but it's the thought that counts. He says goodbye for now and takes off towards the mountains. I then inspect the horn he gave me and I am at a loss for words. Fenrir's whistle. Description: this horn is used to call the mighty Fenrir himself in aid of the caller. This horn was crafted by Wayland the smith. This item is one of a kind. Quality: divine. Durability: infinite. Special requirements: you can only use this horn if you are a friend of Fenrir. Cooldown: 30 days. Once bound it cannot be stolen, be dropped on death, or sold. Do you wish to bind this item to you? Y/N. I think yes, and I feel a strange tingle in the back of my head. I put the horn into my inventory and I receive another system notification. You are the first person to find and bind a divine item. Do you wish to accept the reward? Y/N. So it is like the same time I got a legendary item, I think yes, and I get a new perk. Destined for greatness, passive. Description: you are following a path none have lead before. Plus 500 to all stats. I then receive another system notification, and this time it's asking me if I want the world to know this happened. Do you wish for the people of Ancient's world to know what you have accomplished? Y/N. I instantly think no, there is no reason to draw more attention. I can't believe this is actually happening. I wonder if Blue Chaos ever got this to happen before. I pull up my player stats to view my information. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.19. EXP, 7180/21,000. Title: The Son of Archangel Michael, hidden, +1 more. Stats: Strength, 850. Endurance, 800. Dexterity, 805. Speed, 800. Focus, 800. Mana, 8000/8000. Health, 6,600/6,600. Stat points, 120. Armor rating, 475. Inventory. Skills/perks. Inheritor of the Sword, passive, Son of Heaven, passive, Heaven's Light LVL.3150/300, active, Protected by Heaven LVL.325/300, active, /LVL.8500/800, active, Slayer of Evil, passive, Holy Willow Tree's Savior, passive, Parry LVL.180/100, active, Finder of Legends, passive, The Divine Who Has Legend, passive, Destined for Greatness, passive. I am certain that whatever challenges I meet in the country of Vedersfall I'll be ready for them. I wish you well on your journey, Fenrir, and thank you for this wonderful gift. I walk for a few miles until I reach the border. I wait in line for my turn and I am soon let through. The area after the checkpoint has some buildings that look recently built. They all say in on them, none have a unique name, so that means they were provided by the government. I enter one and pay for a room. I make it to my plain room and lay on the bed. I log off and my consciousness leaves my body as I return to my world as my avatar rest in the bed. Once out of my gaming pod, I am in a dark room only lit up by the glow of my gaming pod. I crash onto the bed and go to sleep. I am very tired, so I think I'll just sleep in tomorrow. Chapter 26, The Numbers. I am dreaming soundly and without interruptions, but as I sleep I am suddenly crushed by a weight. I can hear what sounds like crying in my dream world. Sarah. Sniffle, wake up. I am disturbed by the sound of my mother's voice roaring throughout my dream world. I said wake up. The voice speaks quick with frustration and I am hit over the head with a swift strike. I shoot my eyes open and everything is blurry for a few seconds. What is it? I was trying to sleep, you know. I rub the part of my head that my mom struck with her fist. I look at my mother and her face is covered in tears and her eyes are extremely red. What's wrong, Mom? Did something bad happen? I get up quickly to make sure everything is all right. As I am on my feet, my dad comes barging through the door. He looks at me with slight fear. I don't know what is going on, but I am thoroughly worried. He charges at me and grips my shoulders. Did you do it? I have never heard Dad yell like this before. I look at him confused since I don't know what he's talking about. He pulls out his phone and shows me the balance of the joint account Mom and him own. I focus my eyes and read the long number, soon I am shocked as well. I can't believe it went for 506 million UWDs. I knew it was worth a lot, but I didn't think people would go so crazy over it. I cheered to myself in happiness. I actually succeeded in my dream to give my family everything they could ever want or need. I watched Dad stumble back after my reaction. He uses the wall to hold himself up. A little while later he quickly moves to the garbage can in my room and proceeds to fill it with puke. My mom squeezes me harder and harder to the point that I almost can't breathe. Mom, I am losing my breath here. For a small woman she is deceptively strong. After I say that, she squeezes me even harder before she loosens up. I told you we would never have to worry about money again. I place my hand on the top of her head and I hear her weep harder into my shirt. Now that I think about it, the auction probably just ended. My dad regains his balance and joins Mom in giving me a hug. I wrap my arms around both of them and I squeeze hard back. I let my tears fall freely from my eyes and savor this moment of joy. I hope you have a new home picked out for us, Dad, and hurry down to the bank and pay off all the debt you guys owe. Our new lives start from this day forward. I cry hard as I say those words. My dad pulls away as he laughs joyously. Mom was being crushed between the two tallest people in the house. She moves away and her makeup is smeared everywhere. Can you believe it, honey? We won't lose everything now, we can have the life that we could never have. I listen to Mom as she continues crying and talking about everything that we won't lose now. I think Dad just rushed home and rushed upstairs when he looked at the number in their joint account. I feel better if they have the money in their account. This way they can take care of all the stuff I don't know about. I have no clue how the housing market or interest rates work. I'm glad that the tax laws were reformed in 2140 and we don't have to give a penny of the money we just made. What are you guys going to do with that money? I want to hear the ideas they have and see what they want to do first. Dad is the first to speak with excitement. Well, the first thing I'm doing is quitting my job at the factory. I laugh at his answer. I love how there is no wrong answer here. We can literally do whatever we want. This money will last our family centuries, and knowing Mom and Dad, they will still try and budget. Mom finishes wiping the smeared makeup off her face with her sleeve. I don't know what I am going to do, Sarah. I've never seen so much money in my entire life. The fact that it's ours makes me think I'm having a fever dream. My heart aches knowing that my mom never has had an experience like this. If anyone in the world deserves this money, it's this woman. She has done everything in her power to provide a great life for us. Now it's my turn to show her that her hard work paid off. They sit on my bed to relax their shaking bodies. Do you guys want to go out and eat this morning? We can go to Robert's food parlor like we used to before Marcus was born. When Marcus was born, that is when the bills started getting really bad. Having 5 mouths to feed was a Herculean task with our budget, but they still did it. They did it every day without showing an ounce of weakness. Mom gets up from the bed and calls the school Marcus goes to and tells them we are picking him up. I have to ask her even if they are going through a hard time. Should I go and get Haley? I look to Mom first, but she doesn't look at me. I turn to Dad waiting for an answer. He nods his head yes. I leave my room to go and talk to Haley since Mom and Dad have to get the car ready. I knock on her door and I don't get an answer. I slowly push it open and see that she is just starting to sit up in bed. Hey, my item sold and we are all going out to celebrate. You coming? She looks at me like I grew another head. Everyone knew that I was selling an item, but everyone didn't seem to believe that it would be worth this much. I figured it would be worth at least 100 million UWD, but I didn't think it would be worth $500 million. This type of money can buy anything we want. I could buy us a private island in the Caribbean for 15 to 20 million UWDs. We can buy yachts and helicopters. Just thinking about the stuff that we can do is mind-boggling. How much did it sell for? I knew she couldn't resist. I know my sister more than she knows herself. I walk over and sit next to her on the bed. It sold for 506 million UWDs. We are going to go pick up Marcus from school so we can go out. She looks the same shade of green Dad did when I confirmed the amount to him. She looks at her closet trying to figure out what she wants to wear. We don't have all day, hurry up. I say loudly as I get up and head to the door so she can get ready. I close it behind me and I hear chaos in her room from outside the door. I make my way back to my room and get ready myself. I walk downstairs and see Mom and Dad talking. It looks important so I won't bother them about it. Haley is getting ready upstairs and will be down in a minute. I want to also check the forums before we go so I pull out my phone and sit down. I read about things ranging from the legendary class the Abyss Walker to the guild that got the guild token. It isn't surprising that one of the top guilds got it. The top 50 guilds are so close in value that it is impossible to be the money-dominate guild. It really comes down to your members' strength and your luck. Based off the weird 506 number, I'd say that the timer ran out before everyone was ready to quit bidding. Whoever had the last bid before midnight would win it. I hear the click of heels come down the stairs and I look over and see my sister in a beautiful red sundress since we are getting closer and closer to summer. Today is ranging in the early 70s so I can see why she picked it. Now that everyone is ready, let's go pick up Marcus. Dad gives the order and I follow Mom and Dad out the door with Haley behind me. We spend all morning together going out and buying things after we ate. Marcus got a bunch of toys that he wanted. I'll just say Haley got the usual girl stuff and Mom and Dad actually left us behind to go and get a massage together. I was happy to see them so willing to do stuff with the money, but I could see their fear from all the years of crippling bills. Too bad they will have to get used to being rich. Chapter 27, Ruins of the Bandit Lord Husk. We make it back home after spending quality time together and having the family moments we missed out on because we didn't have any money. We are all standing in the living room and talking about the day we had. I'm going upstairs to hop on Ancient's World. I'll see you guys tonight, okay? I say my goodbyes and as I am about to hop into my pod I can hear some yelling between my mom and sister. At least they waited till after we all had fun together. I load into the world and awake in the bed I rented after I crossed the border. I go downstairs and leave. I have rations so I don't need to eat food at the inn today. I make my way outside and there are plenty of people coming and going through the border. I don't remember there being borders when people started leaving their starting cities. Perhaps it's because of the upcoming war and all the people migrating out of Zenith. I walk down the road alongside other people and carts. Most are citizens that don't have weapons or armor, the others are guards or mercenaries escorting carts. I don't want to know how many players are migrating right now and the amount of chaos that is creating. The vast majority of players are already past level 10 and trying to make it to bigger and better areas without a map. They are going to lose a lot of levels before they accept that they need a map. I still have my map and I pull it out to see my next step. There are 3 options that I have and I know for a fact that 2 of the 3 are dangerous areas with plenty of monsters. One even looks like it cuts through some old ruins. I can't help the itch for the potential of combat and experience going through such a dangerous area. I have already made my decision and I am going the quickest way through some dangerous ruins. I don't recognize the ruins from the map, but when I get there I may remember something I read in the forums from the future. The size of it on the map is impressive, looks kind of like a fortress or stronghold. I wonder why it isn't occupied by the country's soldiers. Vedersfall is known for its strong military. I see no reason for this place to just sit empty and go to waste. As Sarah continues his journey, Gregory Francis VII is moving with his forces to occupy the southeastern part of Zenith. The war is progressing to the phase where battles will occur. The young kings of White Rock and Borealis are joining forces on the western side of the country. Gregory already has his forces in place and is communicating with the 2 kings through magic projection. Once you are both in position we can start city hopping. Take a couple of the cities furthest from the capital. Once you have them, occupy the cities with soldiers and start moving towards the capital. Skip a few cities at a time and take one that is closer in. Once you have the city you can cut the supply chain for the ones you passed on the way in. They will surrender once they run out of essentials. This is a tactic that Gregory Francis II formed from reading journals that were written way before the rule of the Francis family. Gregory Francis VII is using this to slowly squeeze the life out of Zenith. As long as there are no massive magic bombs, then they have nothing to worry about. The King of White Rock, Drake Triton III, is looking at King Franklin IV Hall V of Borealis about this plan. They don't know the ways of war and have mixed feelings about starving citizens when it is a war against a government. I don't like the fact that we have to make the people of Zenith's country suffer with our conflicts. Drake Triton is the first to talk and voice his disapproval of the plan of attack. Franklin IV Hall nods along with the words Drake is saying. I know that this seems cruel, but doing this will allow us to take the cities with minimal casualties and save more people in the end. If either of you have any better ideas, I am open to suggestions. He asked that, knowing that these two have no answer for the war strategy and have no way to argue against Gregory other than saying it doesn't feel right. The magic projection turned off and Gregory went and sat on his finely decorated chair. He rubs his head as he reads reports about supplies and rations for his forces. After a little while, Gregory's best general and friend walks into the tent. By the look on your face, those kids are giving you a hard time. Aaron Yorm speaks to his friend about these young kings and their struggles with sending people to their deaths. Gregory chuckles at Aaron's observation because he is totally right. He would rather just have their soldiers and take care of the war himself instead of negotiating about people's lives with them. All wars come at a cost and they need to learn that, and they will find out how hard it really is to be a king. They have no notion of anything outside their castle walls and lavish courts. They will come out better from this war, and their kingdoms will thrive with wise rulers. Gregory has been a man that isn't afraid to make the hard decisions for his people. That is why he is a respected ruler, unlike the younger ones he is working with. Aaron Yorm sits in a chair looking over the map of Zenith's country. There are a lot of civilian cities between them and Harold. Everyone knows that he is using the people as a shield. What do you plan on doing once you have the legacy class from killing Harold? It would be a lie if the kings involved weren't doing this for the sole purpose of defending themselves. The legacy class is extremely tempting to everyone involved. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those kids tries to play us. Aaron Yorm is a person who always suspects the worst to happen. He makes a great general since he prepares for the bad things he suspects to happen. Gregory sets down the reports and gets up to talk with his friend. That is if they can stomach this war to the bitter end. I wouldn't be surprised if they left once the war is almost over. The capital will be the hardest to take. Regards to the legacy class, I am more interested in their royal treasury. I know that the things in there will be worth more together than the single legacy class. Once this war progresses to its final stages, there may be disputes on who gets what. They say greed is the reason kings rot and countries die. You can see this in Harold as of right now. He is mad with greed. As the two continue to talk, Violet and Christian are talking in private. What are we going to do with all this money, sweetheart? I already paid off all the debts in the house. We barely spent over 1.3 million taking care of everything. Christian feels some shame at saying that. He always believed that money should be hard-earned and spent wisely. His ideals don't apply to this anymore. Violet just stares at the big number on the screen. She is having a hard time accepting that her sweet boy did this for them. She would never say it out loud, but Sarah is her favorite out of the three. She always loved his ability to listen and learn from others and always does what he is told. He is what she wants all her children to be, but sadly she can't have that. I am so proud of him, Chris. She wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying. She was thinking about how to reward Sarah for this wonderful accomplishment. Christian just sighs and goes back to looking at properties on his phone while his wife is off in her own world. What kind of house should we get? Do you want a mansion? As soon as he said that, Violet snorts and turns her head to her husband. He gives her a confused look and doesn't understand her reaction. I'll be stuck cleaning the big place, you goofball. Pick a smaller place. Chris can understand what his wife means, but he also has an answer to her logic as well. He wraps his left arm around his wife and gives her a hug with one arm. You do realize that we can just hire someone to clean the place for us now? Violet gives her husband a look of surprise and slight confusion. She didn't consider that before, having someone else other than herself take care of everything. Take away her responsibilities and she doesn't know who she is. They soon hear the footsteps of the person who saved everything come downstairs to hang out for the night. They look at each other and share a kiss before joining Sarah on the couch to watch TV. Chapter 28, Ruins of the Bandit Lord Husk 2. I got to spend some time with Mom and Dad last night and we got to hang out just the three of us. I went to bed after that. Now that it's morning I can hop back on and check out these old ruins. I get into my gaming pod and load into Ancient's world. I wake up in the tent I fell asleep in. The sun is just starting to rise over the mountains to the east. I wonder what other continents are going through. There are billions of players and multiple continents along with vast oceans that separate the players. It takes a ship or a working teleporter to get to new continents. People won't start migrating to different continents till their tier 2 level up quests. That is a long way down the road and nobody other than me knows the secrets of the tiering up system. I pull out my map and see how close I am to these ruins. Looking at the landmarks and coordinates I am about an hour's walk from the place. I pack up all my gear and make my way to the old ruins. I should check out my stats so I can prepare combat tactics. I think to open my player stat tab and it pops open in front of me. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.19. EXP, 7180/21,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, +1 more. Stats. Strength, 850. Endurance, 800. Dexterity, 805. Speed, 800. Focus, 800. Mana, 8000/8000. Health, 6,600/6,600. Stat points, 120. Armor rating, 475. Inventory. Skills/perks. Inheritor of the Sword, passive, Son of Heaven, passive, Heaven's Light LVL.3150/300, active, Protected by Heaven LVL.325/400, active, /LVL.8500/800, active, Slayer of Evil, passive, Holy Willow Tree's Savior, passive, Parry LVL.180/100, active, Finder of Legends, passive, The Divine Who Has Legend, passive, Destined for Greatness, passive. That perk Destined for Greatness sure brought my combat power up. I open my inventory so I can calculate my new damage numbers with my swords. Inventory. 10x water rations. 5x food rations. Silver sword REQ. LVL.10. Quality, uncommon. Damage, 500. Durability, 250/250. Deadsbane REQ. LVL.10. Damage, 650. Quality, rare. Durability, 250/250. Unique effect, twice as effective on undead. Complete dungeon armor set, hardened sap. Since I am dual wielding now I can combine the damage of the two swords together. 1150 is the combined damage for the two swords. Add the 8500 flat damage from my strength stat and I get 9650. Now all I have to do is multiply the new total damage by 2 since I am dual wielding, doubling my total damage. My new total damage without using skills is 19,300, I can't stop myself from smiling when thinking about the new calculations. I can't wait to test out my skills on stronger enemies now. I turn off my interface and continue to the ruins on the map. After about 50 minutes of walking I make it to the vast gates of the ruins. There are no indications of a military presence here and I can feel some monsters inside. I put my hand on the door and I get a system notification. You are about to enter a solo dungeon. You can only enter alone. Do you wish to enter the dungeon, the ruins of Bandit Lord Husk? Y/N. So this is actually a dungeon, and a solo one at that. Solo dungeons are rare because most places have high concentrations of powerful enemies. If you come across a solo dungeon, it usually indicates a one-sided battle filled with traps and tricks. It is meant to be a way to kill players, period. You really aren't meant to complete it, just die a bunch of times till you learn all the traps and can avoid them. I think yes, and the massive gates open. I walk into the courtyard and I can see remnants of a society and a community. Now it's just empty and worn down old buildings. I walk the path for a while and I come across a group of mobs. All of them are strong enemies and haven't noticed me yet. I inspect one of them since I can't really make out what they are. They really surprise me because they don't belong in a place like this. Ghoulish Abomination LVL.15 strong. 25,000/25,000 HP. Ghoulish Abomination? These are only found when a necromancer is playing God and doing a bad job. They have no thoughts and are impossible to control. They are usually killed by the necromancer once they are deemed failures. The fact that they are alive is suspicious. A necromancer never leaves traces of his or her existence if possible. This is also the ruins of a bandit lord, not a necromancer. This whole thing reeks of a trap. No point in risking this for such weak and more than likely trap-filled enemies. I sneak away and go down a different path. After some walking I feel powerful magic coming from a building up ahead. I reach it and walk up to the door. I place my ear against it. I listen for the sounds of an enemy. I hear nothing. The power I sense coming from the inside is also moving and fluctuating. This is commonplace in solo dungeons. If an old magic trap hasn't been set off in a very long time, it will start to destabilize. I think this is exactly what is happening here. If I open this door I will be killed. I leave the door to the building and continue down the courtyard. I am met by a crossroads. One goes to an old Greek-looking temple. The other path leads to what seems to be an armory. There is probably a boss to this place, and if I was a betting man it would be in the temple. But this is a solo dungeon and you have to think like a trapper would. The armory and the temple are no-goes, they are more than likely filled with traps and tricks. Since I am at a crossroads and I don't intend to go forward, I turn back the way I came. After making it halfway back I notice a path that wasn't there when I walked by earlier, typical of a solo dungeon. This little trick has killed many players in solo dungeons before, even me when I was a higher level in the future. I look down the new path and see a little building. Why would such a small building be hidden from everyone? I didn't have to do anything special to open the path either. No key, no password, nothing to open it except walk back. This is a trap too, so I am passing on this. I make it back to the entrance of the dungeon and check the adjacent part of the courtyard. This path is identical to the last one, except the first building doesn't have a trap from the feeling of it. I make my way to the door and listen for any movement. I hear nothing and I feel nothing, so I push the door open and I am greeted by a room filled with pristine books and scrolls. I am not going to touch anything. This place is not magical in origin like the Dryads. So there is no way that all this stuff would look this good after such a long time. I ignore this room and head into the back. After looking at the empty room I can see an old key on a table. I inspect it from a distance in case it's another trap. Key to the main chamber. Main chamber to what? After I inspected the key, a map materializes on the wall. It is a map of the ruins and where everything is located. I look for the main chamber and all I see is a pathway to a hole in the side of the cliff this place was built on. I should check there next. I place the key in my inventory and I make my way outside. I follow the correct path and make it to a little road that cuts through some trees. I walk down it and I come across a heavy door. I try and push it open. I get a system notification telling me otherwise. You need a key to open this door. I take out the key I got from the table and I put it in the keyhole. I turn it and the door clicks open. It creaks loudly as I push it open. Suddenly torches light along the walls start to light the path. That means this leads to the main chamber, and to the boss of this dungeon. I make my way down the path mentally preparing for a battle. There was nothing in the forums about this place, so I have no idea what I am walking into. Chapter 29, The Ruins of Bandit Lord Husk 3. Walking down this path I can feel a powerful monster at the end of wherever this leads. While walking I pass door after door. I believe they are bedrooms or cells, but I'm not opening them to find out. I finally make it to the end and I am met by a single door. I lean my ear against it and listen for anything. I can hear deep breathing coming from the other side of the door. This is definitely the boss, and it sounds big. I kick open the door as I draw my two swords. I am met by a truly powerful boss creature. I inspect it to see if it's the real deal or not. Earth Elemental LVL.15 Dungeon Boss 225,000/225,000 HP. It has already noticed me and is preparing to attack. It's already throwing rocks and rumble at me, trying to get any type of hit. The monster is getting pissed at my ability to dodge its attacks. It comes down to personal skill when dodging and I am great at it. An Earth Elemental is special in that it doesn't have 100% critical spots on its body and it lacks a heart. It won't go into a tired debuff state since it has no heart. If I want to land any hits it will have to be when Protected by Heaven is activated or I find a way to trip it. I see no way to bring its sturdy legs out from under it without a blunt type weapon. I only have blade type. So that leaves one option left. I activate Protected by Heaven and Heaven's Light so I can kill this guy as fast as possible. Earth Elemental LVL.15 Dungeon Boss 225,000/225,000 HP. -101,325, blocked 50,000. -51,325, actual. -84,437.5, blocked 45,000. 39,437.5, actual. -118,212.5, blocked 52,000. -66,212.5, actual. This guy is tough enough to block around half the damage I deal. Stacked with Heaven's Light would have already killed this guy if his defense wasn't so high. I hit him with another combo on top of Heaven's Light. I would be dead right now if I didn't have Protected by Heaven. Earth Elemental LVL.15 Dungeon Boss 68,025/225,000 HP. -92,881.25, blocked 43,000. -49,881.25, actual. -104,702.5, blocked 50,000. -54,702, actual. Plus 9,000 EXP. Plus 1,000 Mastery. Plus 500 Protected by Heaven Mastery. Plus 500 Heaven's Light Mastery. Has leveled up 2x. Protected by Heaven has leveled up. Heaven's Light has leveled up. I look at my stats so I can see the new levels of my skills. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.19. EXP, 16,180/21,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, hidden, plus 1 more. Stats. Strength, 850. Endurance, 800. Dexterity, 805. Speed, 800. Focus, 800. Mana, 8,000/8,000. Health, 6,600/6,600. Stat points, 120. Armor rating, 475. Inventory. Skills/perks. Inheritor of the Sword, passive, Son of Heaven, passive, Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400, active, Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400, active, /LVL.10300/1000, active, Slayer of Evil, passive, Holy Willow Tree's Savior, passive, Parry LVL.180/100, active, Finder of Legends, passive, the Divine who has legend, passive, destined for greatness, passive. Now that slash has reached level 10 it will do more damage now. Slash, active. Description, you can add 85% more damage to you attack. A 10% increase in damage is amazing for my divine class. I look at the spread rubble of the fallen earth elemental and I see a purple glowing drop. I rush to it and pick it up and I inspect it. Chunk of adamantine metal. Description, the highest grade metal you can find on the world of Gaia, its rarity and innate magical properties can craft armor or weapons of legendary quality. Special requirements, only a legendary blacksmith can use this metal. Damn, I don't know if there is a legendary blacksmith even alive. I can hold on to this until I find a better use for it. Now that the dungeon boss is beat I can check out the main chamber and see if there are any rewards or quests. I approach the door leading to the back and I open it. I am met by a room filled with gold and trinkets. I am not touching any of this stuff because I can sense it is enchanted with magic. I instead head further back into the room and I find another door. I push it open and I am now looking at an office space. This must have been the leader's room. I look around the old and dusty room and see old documents. I walk up to the desk and sit down in it. I play around with it and I am met with some hidden levers and dials. I spend 4 hours solving this damn puzzle desk and once I do a hidden compartment opens. I pick up the paper within it and I get a system notification. Quest, the lost treasure of Bandit Lord Husk. Description, this is a clue to find the treasure that Husk hid long ago. Objective 1, locate the tomb of Nermo. Objective 2, get the clue from the tomb. Quality, legacy. Do you want to accept this quest? Y/N. I never heard of this from the forums in the future. Someone decided to keep it a secret it seems. This is just another quest to the growing pile that I have. I think yes and accept the quest. I don't know where this tomb is, but I am sure that I could find it in the future after I get to tier 2. I make my way out of the underground chambers and make my way to the exit. As soon as I leave I get a system notification. You are the first player to complete a solo dungeon and not die a single time. Do you wish to accept the rewards? Y/N. I think yes and I get a new perk. Dungeon Diver, passive. Description, even the most complex and tricky dungeons are no match for you. Plus 1500 focus. This is going to be a helpful perk for when I get more and more active skills. I look at my player stats for the last time today. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.19. EXP, 16,180/21,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, hidden, plus 1 more. Stats. Strength, 850. Endurance, 800. Dexterity, 805. Speed, 800. Focus, 2300. Mana, 23,000/23,000. Health, 6,600/6,600. Stat points, 120. Armor rating, 475. Inventory. Skills/perks. Inheritor of the Sword, passive, Son of Heaven, passive, Heaven's Light LVL.4325/300, active, Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400, active, /LVL.10300/1000, active, Slayer of Evil, passive, Holy Willow Tree's Savior, passive, Parry LVL.180/100, active, Finder of Legends, passive, the Divine who has legend, passive, Destined for Greatness, passive, Dungeon Diver, passive. I have satisfied my curiosity and checked out the ruins. I make my way down the little hill and start my path to Eclipse City. I travel the plains and forest for another 3 hours following the directions on the map to perfection. Nightfall has come and that means it's time to get off. I set up my camp and lay down in my tent. I log off and hop out of my gaming pod. I can smell delicious food coming from downstairs and I quickly rush to the dinner table. I can see the massive dinner Mom cooked and see the smiles on my family's faces. I take a seat between Marcus and Mom and start to chow down. Mom and Dad look at each other and I can tell that they are having a silent conversation. Suddenly Dad speaks with really good news. Kids, your mom and I have decided on a house we are getting and we will be moving in a couple of days. We will have movers do all the work, so just be ready the day of, all right? I give my parents the biggest smile I could. They are already spending the money for things they want and need. I know for a fact that their wisdom with money is going to be the best thing I ever invested in. I finish my dinner and sit at the couch and turn on the TV. I go to my favorite channel that reports anything that happens in Ancient's world. A reporter is doing a take on the mass migration of players from their starting cities. Players are moving in mass and are leaving their starting cities. With the average players level rising more and more, people are looking at Ancient's world as a new frontier for money. I can agree with that statement. The amount of money you can make from Ancient's world is unbelievable. I am soon joined in the living room with the rest of my family and we all watch the updates from Ancient's world. Chapter 30, The City of Eclipse. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I didn't post yesterday because it seemed kind of rude to have people read my story when they should spend time with their families. Hope you all enjoy the chapter. I head up to my room after spending quality time with my family. Dad is home full-time now since we don't need money anymore. Seeing Mom and Dad free from the shackles of debt is a wonderful sight. They actually look confused at times because they don't have responsibilities anymore. No one in this family has financial responsibilities. I'll admit it does feel strange not having to worry about income and bills. You get so used to it after such a long time that when it's gone you are left without a sense of direction. I am glad that my parents are going through this. They can do whatever they want with their time now. I lay down in my bed and open my laptop. I check the most popular forums and see what type of information is floating around right now. Checking all the major guilds forums, I find the one that got the guild token I sold. Their guild's name is Red Sky. They are a formidable in close combat battles from the talented fighters they have. They lack in the large-scale deployment department though. This is why they are ranked 12th in the world for the top guilds. Now that they have the guild token, the spot they hold will undoubtedly rise into the top 10. I wonder what the other guilds are up to. Most of the top 10 are moving into the country of Salamander to track down a world boss. Fenrir is the strongest thing walking Gaia right now, so whatever they are hunting isn't even comparable. They might have a shot if they decide to work together and split the rewards. The likelihood of that happening is slim though. All the best guilds don't like to share with others. Maybe losing a bunch of levels will change their minds about that. I close my laptop and slide under my blankets to sleep. In Ancient's world, a meeting between the Holy Priestess of the Fairy Kingdom and the emergency meeting of the kingdoms is being held. Queen Victoria Ulysses was able to get into contact with the new Fairy Kingdom and has invited them to this meeting. There are 3 chairs empty from the war zenith started. Everyone else is present via magical projection and are eagerly waiting for the meeting to start. The first one to speak is the Pope. It is a great day to be able to speak with the fairies again. I am so glad you decided to accept our invitation. He is speaking to Holy Priestess Zerla and her willingness to be here. The fairy people are the same size as regular human, but they have wings on their backs. Males have dragonfly wings and females have butterfly wings. Zerla has beautiful black and white wings along with braided pure white hair. Zerla's magical projection walks to the stage to speak as well. We are thankful for being freed after so many years. The Holy Willow Tree is back at full power and so is the Fairy Kingdom. We thank you all for reaching out to us after we have been gone for so long. She speaks in a voice that is melodic and hypnotic. Every ruler in this room, be them male or female, blushed at her lovely voice. The next to speak is Saintess Lucy. We are here today to discuss relations with the Fairy Kingdom and open trades. as well as discuss another important matter. Zerla knows what is being implied here and she will have to disappoint them. For she does not know the identity of the one who saved their kingdom. The holy willow tree has refused to tell her anything about Michael's son. The Popo stands up and looks across at Zerla. You probably already know the other reason you are here. The church is willing to do anything for the identity of Archangel Michael's son. So please just name what you want and we will be sure to fulfill the request. Everyone is silent as the Pope speaks. Zerla gives a sad face that greatly worries the Pope and Saintess. They didn't think the fairies would hide the sun. Zerla gives a gentle sigh and puts her hands together to ask the holy willow tree one last time. The only one who knows the identity of Michael's son is the holy willow tree. I have asked many times for his identity, but the tree will not give any information to me. I am sorry that I cannot fulfill this request for you. You can clearly see the frustration on the Pope's face. He is not upset at the fairies or the holy willow tree. He is mad because they have made no progress in finding Archangel Michael's son. The fairy kingdom is an ally that knows the identity of the person they are searching for, but they also don't know the identity at the same time. In a way they are in the same boat as the church. They only have one other option at this point and that is to find the person in blue grass that knows Michael's son. The church can't force the holy willow tree or the fairies to tell them, because that would turn them into an enemy. It is suspected that the holy willow tree will do anything to protect the person they are looking for. Zerla prepares to speak again, this time with a warning. I know how much you all want to find Michael's son, but I will only warn you once. If you try to force the kingdom of the fairies or the holy willow tree then you will have war. This is not a message from me, but from the holy willow tree itself. One more thing to make sure that you know these words are true, if you do provoke us Fenrir will come to our aid. Whoever the offender is will suffer the full might of Fenrir. Many of the faces in the room turn pale. Nobody will dare fight the fairy kingdom since they have Fenrir on their side. The Pope can't help his disappointment at the news he has received today. Saintess Lucy on the other hand is not in the mood for such game. I get the position you are in, Holy Priestess, but it is our duty to find and bring in Michael's son. You will be marked as a neutral party by my forces and receive no aid. I am not like the Pope, I expect the information we want. Otherwise, you are not an ally in my eyes. The Saintess is in charge of the armies of the Church and fighting in battles. The Pope or other kingdoms cannot challenge her authority when it comes to managing and leading the Church's army. The Pope looks at Lucy as if she has grown a second head that is puking gold. Please forgive Saintess Lucy. She does not mean what she says. The Pope is trying to salvage whatever he can after that threat. Lucy is never one to have others speak for her and she is about to put the nail in the coffin. Saintess Lucy takes the stage and looks to Zerla. You have been warned, Zerla. I hope that the holy willow tree will understand how important this is to us. As she finishes saying that, the Pope is overcome with anger. Before he can say anything, Saintess Lucy leaves the meeting room and leaves a very mad Alexander. All the rulers present can't believe what just happened. Zerla never dropped her smile and never looked intimidated. It's okay, she is just passionate about her beliefs. I take no insult to her words. Some people in the room breathe a sigh of relief after hearing those words. The meeting continues without Lucy present anymore. The night passes fast and Sarah's alarm goes off. I wake up at the usual time and head downstairs for breakfast. This is the first time I have seen Dad here for breakfast. He is always at work by now. He doesn't need a job anymore and now he can spend as much time as he wants with his family. I am the first of the 3 siblings up and I sit next to Dad. So what are you and Mom going to do today? They both look at me funny. I can't help laughing at their reactions. When was the last time you guys went on a date? Now that you're free from debt you can spend quality time together. I personally don't remember the last time they spent time alone outside the house. They both look at each other as if trying to find out an answer. Well, honey? Are we going out today? Mom is quick to capitalize on the question I asked them. Dad still has the look of I can't compute. I have a feeling that they are going to be having a lot more dates now that they have free time.